Hello guys and welcome to today's tropical update. Yes, it's been a long time since I've done one of these videos, but I'm back and I'm probably going to be semi-consistent as well going forward, at least until we get to the hurricane season where I start to get even more consistent with these uploads. So the plan for today is I'm going to go over SSTs and going over Enzo and all that stuff. And on Sunday, I'm going to be taking a look at the climate models and seeing what they all show for the season ahead. And I gotta tell you, there's a lot of hype for this season. Whether that hype is warranted or maybe overplayed, we don't know yet. We simply don't know. But it does look like those models are indicating a pretty busy season ahead. So let's get right into it. Yes, I am doing a shameful plug. Like this is here showing those anomalies that are under the surface, the subsurface anomalies here, and you can see that the Central Pacific El Nino is still trying to hold on pretty well here. But if you go towards the 3 and 1+2 region, you can see just how quickly those warm SSTs have thinned out and even made it to the surface with those cool anomalies. That's pretty big. That means we're on our way towards transitioning from El Nino to a La Nina in the coming months. You know, it all depends on how strong this easterly wind burst is and how long it lasts. Will that decide on how quickly we go into a La Nina when we get closer to the season? All right, and speaking of those easterly and westerly wind bursts, we are going to take a look at the 5 south, the 5 north, 857 anomalies here. And what you see here before you is these reds right here. Those are westerlies, and what those do, they pretty much warm up those surfaces of the waters, make them warmer, right? And then these blues here, these are easterlies, and that cools the waters. In most cases, you know, this is the key that we look for when we try to, hone in on whether we go to a El Nino or La Nina. And right now, you see a whole bunch of blues here in this Enzo region, and that is indicative of a, you know, a starting of a La Nina, base state. Obviously we're not in a La Nina right now, but this is what you want to see to really, you know, take it home to the other side of El Nino into a La Nina. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 10 north to 20 north here, and this is more looking at the Atlantic side of things than the Pacific. And as you can see, we got some blues here, which means it's semi cooling, maybe very very weak cooling there. We're staying stagnant. The reds is what's warms us up here, and then as you see, from the Caribbean, you know, going all the way to the West MDR, Central MDR, and Eastern MDR here in the next 2 days, we're gonna have some solid westerlies here that are gonna really warm up the waters a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised here in the next week and a half to 2 weeks that we see some pretty solid you know lowering of the trade winds, and those sea surface temperature anomalies get up to close to +2. It's possible. So we're just gonna have to see what happens with that. And speaking of SSTs, we are looking at the OISST charts here, and we're going to start here in the Enzo region. As you can see, these greens here at the equatorial Pacific are really starting to show itself here, and these are indicative of like 26C, maybe 25C are starting to creep in there. We see this well here. If we look over here to the right, how that all looks here with that really solid shade of blue there. That is the subsurface cooling making it to the surface that I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. So what does this mean? It means that we are now officially seeing the start of the end of the El Nino and going into that La Nina base state. going into the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. So we're gonna go down here, check out the 3.4 region, and it's been up and down for the last two months before recently where it's been staying about the same. You know, a little dip in valley here, going up, going down, up, down, up, down. It's been pretty much, standard here, around plus 1.476 or so here, and it's definitely below the strong El Nino threshold right now. But that's not to say it won't fluctuate between strong El Nino and moderate El Nino as we head through the next, you know, few weeks here until we really see that easterly wind burst do its thing. And yes, we will see those SST anomalies start to drop, and probably very quickly as we go forward. All right, let's take a look at the Nino 3 region here. And this is the one that I've showed you where all those blues are. And you can see that we had a pretty solid dip here in the SSTs from, like, say, March 3rd. Yeah, March 3rd all the way to the 8th. It's seen a solid, 3.4, or not, like 0.3, degrees Celsius drop in just those 5 days, and it's really taking a tumble here. And this is gonna creep west as we go out through time, and we're gonna see how quickly those start to really dominate the reds, and how quickly that changes over. All right, let's take a look at the Atlantic side of things. Atlantic MDR, we are hot. We are plus 1.396 degrees above the long-term average for this time of year. And I gotta say, over the last year, we've seen these SSTs globally break records every single day for almost the last year. And obviously, as long as I've been alive 36 years. I've never seen anything like this, like, at all. So, this is something to really pay attention to as we go forward. And like I said, there's going to be lessening of the trade winds here soon, and I would not be surprised to see these go up pretty decently here in the next 2 or so weeks. What about the Eastern Atlantic? That's the part of the ocean near African coast. And right now they're sitting at a staggering plus 1.745 degrees above the long-term average for this time of year. And that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. At this point, I can't see what can possibly put in a major dent in these SSTs, especially with the trends we got going on, and the negative NAO returning and lowering those trade winds. It's gonna have to take like a month or two plus NAO to really put a damper on these SSTs. And right now, I'm not seeing that. The climate models are not seeing that. Everything is keeping the Atlantic very, very hot as we head into the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. So we're going to take a look at actually, we're going to go back here. We're going to go up here and see Western Atlantic SSTs. We're going to bring this up here. And you can clearly see where the 26 and 27 degrees Celsius lines are. It's these yellows and these oranges. And right now, you can see even the loop current here is, seeing those 26s and 27s even as we're in March 8th. So, I've been watching the Gulf SSTs, and they're warming up pretty quickly. No, but honestly, Gulf SSTs, they don't have a bearing on the season whatsoever. But I still find it interesting how quickly they are starting to warm up at this point in time. So let's see about the North Atlantic here. Actually, no, Tropical Atlantic. and you can see that the 26 degree line here is just south of the Cabo Verde Islands, and these temperatures are indicative of a typical mid July. Like honestly, a mid July SST setup on March 8th. You don't hear that often. This is just this unprecedented territory with the SSTs here over the last year in the just worldwide in general. So this is something to watch out for. Just how quickly do these 26-degree isotherms go north? We'll have to see, because everywhere else in the main development region is all systems go. 26s and 27 degrees Celsius. 26 degrees Celsius is the minimum amount that can support a hurricane. So we're already there in a lot of the absolute, development regions in the Atlantic. Anyways, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. This is my comeback here, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, until Sunday, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.